Hi, guys. How are you today? Okay, so I'm going to do something I usually don't do, and that is wait for the room to fill up. Now, I'm getting complaints, especially from a good friend of mine who's saying, you go too soon. It makes it where I miss the first half and I have to go back and rewind it. So let me give people a chance to join the room. So I'm just going to make small talk. And in the small talk, I have to say this, whether you like the Kardashians, hate the Kardashians, you have to give them credit where credit is due. Kim Kardashian was one of the first pioneers, one of the first people to actually make money off of social media. Not only did she make money off of social media, she's one of the first. Her Paris were one of the first to be famous for not having a talent. Now, I'm not trying to throw shade at them. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. Like, they're not like actors. They're not musicians. They are famous, and I would say more famous than some of our A-list celebrities. Kim Kardashian is known like maybe a Brad Pitt. That's just what it is. She reinvented how to be a superstar from being, I'm not going to say nothing because I don't want to disrespect her, from being a socialite, if you could say that. And another thing, whether you like Kanye or hate Kanye, you have to give credit where credit is due. Kanye is a musical genius. And I don't care if you are a fan of rap, not a fan of rap. There's some song in Kanye's catalog that you have come across, everyone, and said, oh, I like that. He's just a musical genius. We have to start out by saying that before I even get into the story. So I wanted to make small talk with that, is these are people that are well accomplished, and you have to give credit where credit's due. I mean, if you would have looked back in, I don't know, the 90s and someone would have told you, I want to be famous just for being famous. I want to be famous for absolutely doing nothing. You would say, it's unheard of. Get out of here. You're a crazy person. But Kim Kardashian has managed to do that with the help of her mother, who is going to be very much a part of this video. Okay, I feel like enough people have entered for me to go ahead and get started now. This is crazy, people. It's crazy. Okay, so it's coming out today. And don't forget, sometimes the Kardashians are responsible for leaking their own dirt. It's being reported today that Kim and Kanye are most definitely headed for a divorce. They're saying that Kim has hired a lawyer. Her name is Laura Wasser, and that she doesn't want to be with Kanye anymore. He doesn't want to be with her anymore. They didn't spend the holidays together. He has a $14 million ranch in Wyoming, and most of the time she's in Calabasas with the kids. But the rumors are she's been miserable with Kanye for a while, but she's very worried about how she gets this divorce. She doesn't want people to look at her in a bad way and say, you divorce someone for having a mental illness, which you probably knew about before, and why you're going to leave someone for things that they can't control. Now, she has a lot of reasons to worry about this. Her reputation is very important. This is how she makes money. Number two, there's going to be a book coming out, an unauthorized book called Dirty Sexy Money, the unauthorized biography of Kris Jenner. This book is not written from a Kardashian. It's more explosive. Kris has written a book where she kind of talked about some of her affairs. This book is explosive. Okay, it's going to be all kind of things coming out in this book. But let's go back to the Kim thing before I talk about the book. So they're very worried about this book coming out. They don't want to add to this bad publicity that they're going to get from this book. So the rumor is that she wants to divorce Kanye. She wanted to divorce him for a while. And in her defense, it may be, I don't know. So I'm trying to get both sides of the story here. Very hard to deal with. Okay, sorry. That's Perry wants the link. He decides he wants to talk about it. So let me send him this. It may be very hard to be married to someone who has erratic behavior. I could see both ends of the spectrum. I mean, maybe she knew about his illness before they got married, and maybe it wasn't that bad. But you guys have to admit, in the last couple of years, it seems like when Kanye goes off of his medicine, and these are the rumors that he acts like this when he goes off, he brings a lot of bad publicity into the marriage. And it could just be very hard to deal with that. But, she's afraid that people aren't going to look at her that way. So she's very cautious about how she's doing this divorce. They're even currently seeing a counselor, and she wants it to appear that she has done everything that she could to fix this marriage. I mean, it's a double-edged sword. No matter what happens when you decide to divorce him, people are going to have their opinions. Will it affect her marriage? I mean, her reputation? It might. It really might. But and they don't need it done now. So she's going to counseling, but it's just in name only to say that she tried to save this marriage. And they're really worried about this book that's coming out. This book kind of paints Kris Jenner, I wouldn't say a monster, to not look like such a good person. Okay, in this book, they're going to talk about how she ruined Khloe's life. They're saying that in her book, she talked about having affairs, but they're saying it was way more in her day. And according to Todd Waterman, he had an affair with her all the way up until in the early part of her marriage to Bruce Jenner. She's a cheater. It really what she is. She's admitted to being a cheater, but they're saying it's worse. They said she would do things like sneak, when she was married to Robert Kardashian, sneak Todd into the house when he was home, when everyone was sleeping. Kind of scandalous. I mean, there's a big difference that, you just had one affair and, you guys had you didn't want to, it kind of just happened. I'm sorry. You're kind of scandalous when you're sneaking people into the house. This is what I'm told is going to be in this book. It also was going to be in this book is the tremendous guilt that she carries with Khloe. Now, there's no secret that there are rumors going around that Khloe is O.J. Simpson's daughter. And they're saying that this rumor is going around basically because of how Khloe looks. Let me put the picture up. This is OJ's daughter, Sydney, and people are saying they look very much alike. I could see it, but according to this book, they don't just have to worry about OJ. There is a lot of men that Kris had an affair with, and most likely she doesn't know who Khloe's dad is. They said that this is something that Khloe deals with on a daily basis. From being very little. They said growing up, all of the children had dark hair. They said Khloe was blonde when she was little. All of the daughters are small. Khloe's very tall. I don't know how tall she is, but she really hovers over the rest. That she even had conversations with her sisters about it, that she doesn't think that Robert was her father. They addressed it also on the show. Pardon me, I clicked the wrong button. They even addressed it on the show, but they said this is something that Khloe really struggled with her entire life. Not only that, she struggled with for a period in her life that I know I have a deep feeling that Robert isn't my dad, and I feel like my mom is lying to me. They said she carries guilt about Khloe. They said that Khloe internalizes things more naturally than the rest of her other children. And I think they mean by internalized things, maybe they mean things bother her easier than the other children. I don't know what that word meant, but that's what I'm being told, that she internalizes things more than the other children. And this is something that she carried with her whole life. And that as a result, she is weaker to men because she's looking for affection. This is what's going to be in this book. I say Kris, while she has done some very good things for the family money-wise, she should carry this guilt. What a thing to live with, that you don't know who the baby's father is. Or it could be worse. They're saying in this book that she very well could not know who Khloe's real father is. But if you just go on looks alone, I hate to be mean, but Khloe could very well have a different father. She has a totally, completely different look. And she does look more like Sidney Simpson. And, the rumors have been out there that one of the people she had an affair with was OJ Simpson, even though she was good friends with Nicole. This is scandalous. This is scandalous. So this book is not going to paint Kris in a good light. The family period, they talk about how Kris is very ambitious, how she put this ambition in her children, especially Kim. They like making money. I'll say that for lack of a better word. It motivates a lot of things that they do because of money. But, on the opposite side, Kris has created something that is virtually very, very hard to do, and which very few people do. But do I think that Khloe has a different dad? I will save that. It looks like Perry wants to come up. Hi, Perry.
Hey, what's happening?
What do you think about Kim being worried about how it's going to look if she divorces Kanye, who has admitted to being bipolar?
Well, I think she might feel that way only because he's popular. And then two, if she divorced him, then people go, oh, you just married that black man for his money. So I'm thinking all these other things. And when you don't need them no more, you let them go. That's how some people are going to look at it. So I think that could be one of the, the things. And she don't want that bad publicity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I can see why the family is probably not just Kim, probably the family is tired of him because he's sort of messing up the brand now for them. I mean, because their brand is, fine and sexy. And he bring along this craziness.
Well, okay, we have to be careful how we describe Kanye. No.
Okay, when I say this, I'm saying he bring along this thing they don't want.
Chaos.
Right.
Yeah, he says and does things that is. I have not personally dealt with anyone in my inner circle with a mental illness, but I have sense enough to know it's not his fault. She's in a sticky situation. It's not his fault. But with that being said, it could be extremely hard to deal with.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, if you were Kim, do you pull the plug anyway and do it very slowly like she's doing?
Well, yeah, I'm thinking, it may be best for both of them to do it slowly. If that marriage is not going to work, it's best for both of them to take their time and work it out where both of them are comfortable with it. Maybe.
And if she's worried about that, do you pull the plug now with this book coming out?
Well,
it's not going to make the family look good at all, specifically Kris.
Right, but the book, I mean, as far as Kanye and Kim's marriage, I don't think the book had anything to do with that, right? As much as
they're going to get looked at as money hungry people. They have a reputation for I wouldn't say
greed.
No, when it comes to men, using them.
Right.
I make that up. Yeah.
That's their brand, fine and sexy. So they don't want nothing outside of that. That's how they want to keep it because guys like fine and sexiness. They go there, they can use them up for money and everything else.
Well, let me ask you this. Would you look at Kris Jenner any different if she came out and said she doesn't know who Khloe's dad is?
No, you know what, though? I can respect that. I mean, nobody's perfect. Let's keep it real. And she's not without flaws, right? Things happen in her relationship. She don't have to be proud of those things. But I guess to come out and just say it, hey, this what happened, sometimes keep it private until it becomes public, right?
You feel bad for Khloe that has let this bother her all these years and always felt some kind of different. She feels different than the rest of the other children.
I feel sorry for any person that have to deal with that outside of Khloe, but Khloe internalizes things differently than the rest of them.
What does that mean? Because that's how it was told. What does that mean?
I mean, it's how she look at things. Well, basically, she look at things totally different because she's always wondering. The other girls didn't have to wonder if that was their father. They all looked alike. If you were the only one looking differently and got treated differently, you know what I'm saying? And with Khloe, I guess she went through all that depression and all that stuff while she was dealing with this, gain weight and stuff. And the rest of them, you sitting over here when you don't gain weight and the rest of them, fine.
Yeah.
And then all of them got dark hair. All of them looking like their father.
Yeah.
Right? and she's not finding those similarities with that. And I think a lot of people will have these kind of doubts. Like, that's why she internalizes things differently, right? Because maybe when you start getting to that point, she don't feel the love. Like, she might not come out and say it. Maybe she don't feel like she got the direct love as Kim and the rest of them got. I mean, anytime when you blend a family or have different figures like fathers or mothers in the picture, it can come out totally different like that.
Oh, I forgot this. Also, I forgot to talk about this subject. I'm being told that filming began yesterday for The Real Housewives of New York, and that this will be Ramona Singer's final season. She doesn't know it yet. They are planning on phasing her out. I don't even know how Ramona made it that long to begin with. I mean, she should have been gone a long time ago, but they're supposed to be focusing in on younger people, which is really weird because someone had brought up the fact how Leah looks totally different now. She's got a nose job. She's got a boob job. And they feel like she's being pressured by, number one, saving the show last season and letting what people think of her get the best of her. I feel like plastic surgery is a personal thing, and you do it for whatever your reasons are. I don't judge people on that, but I forgot to bring that up, and someone wanted to ask a question about that. But I'm really fascinated with this Kim Kardashian and Kanye story, and the Kim and the Kris Jenner, because people judge Kris harshly. She has accomplished something that no one else, many haven't done. But when you are sneaking men into your house at night when your husband's home, scandalous. I mean, right? Let's see what Sky has to say. It's crazy.
You must have some good sleeping pills.
Hey. Hi, Sky. Sound off. I mean, isn't this crazy?
I think they're ending Keeping Up with the Kardashians at the wrong time. I mean, all this stuff is coming out. Don't we want to watch this? I do.
Yeah, I do. Let me ask you a question, Sky. If it came out that Kris Jenner does not know who Khloe's dad is, would you look at her any different?
I wouldn't look at Khloe any different because obviously that's something she couldn't control. But I think Kris is. I think Kris definitely has done her ways, and she does her thing, and you can't really judge people for their past behavior, but keeping it a secret, I definitely can see her trying to have her own up to that anyway.
What if she kept it a secret because she didn't know who the dad was? Would you start telling people that? I don't know who Khloe's dad is.
I think NeNe Leakes said it best. You got girls in the hood that know who their baby daddies are. And you need Kris Kardashian to own up to who this baby daddy is. And if you don't know, if you've been cheating on so many different men that you don't know who the baby daddy is, I think that's a problem.
Let me ask you this. Oh, hold on. Let me bring up Freddie. Hi, Freddie.
Hello. How are you?
Sky, let me ask you this. Would you look at Kim Kardashian any different if she left Kanye because it was hard to handle his mental illness?
No. Having people in my life who do suffer with mental illness, it is very difficult to keep those relationships. It becomes very strained. And, I wouldn't judge her if she felt like the best thing for her to do was leave that relationship. She got those kids to worry about. And, if it's toxic, I could see keeping a relationship, but like just platonic and being supportive, but at a distance.
What about you, Freddie? Would you look at Kim any different if she left him because it was hard to deal with his mental illness?
I think, it's been, it's not about whether you like them or not. I think, I think some of the things that they have done are arguably immoral, but I think it probably is incredibly difficult, no matter what your financial situation is, to live with someone that's that bipolar, that erratic. It would be very difficult. And I think, she sort of implied it before that, he's very controlling. So to be in a marriage where you basically you can't make any decision, or you have to run everything through your husband, I mean, that's not a great marriage. I've also seen, literally just before you went on with this live, that there's this TikTok rumor going around that Kanye has allegedly been has been cheating on Kim with Jeffree Star.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's been on TikTok. Yeah, I saw it on Instagram just like now. And I don't really know what the evidence that is, other than that they both have houses in Hidden Hills and that they both have places in Wyoming.
Mm-hmm. I mean, would you look at Kris Jenner any different if she just came out and said, I don't know who Khloe's dad is?
I mean, they've done this. This has been a storyline on Keeping Up with the Kardashians before, where she's said that, you know, she felt bad that Khloe was always the one that they were saying, oh, yeah, Robert Kardashian's not your dad. And there have been loads of rumors who her dad is, such as O.J. Simpson. Kris's former hairdresser, a guy called, I think, Alex Roldan or something like that. And he does look weirdly quite a lot like Khloe, but we've never been told evidence otherwise. But it has been a story quite a few years ago on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And Khloe actually chose not to have a paternity test.
Because you know what? It could be horribly embarrassing too. What if the results came back and, you know, I'm going to be messy one more time. Look at the picture again, guys. Does she look like Sydney? She does, doesn't she?
Child, that is the Kardashian sister, long lost Kardashian sister.
Hate to be messy, but you know, it could. She looks more like Sydney than she does Courtney.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're about the same height too. This is bad.
But I
gonna make some good TV.
Now, I think Kris know who the father is. Or, you know, I mean, because she could be wild and all this stuff, but during this time, I don't think she's that wild of a person that she's having orgies up in the place. You know what I'm saying? I think that she's a cheater, in my opinion. But I think she cheat, you know, this one guy for 3 or 4 months or something. So during that time frame, I think she got an idea of who it was. Just couldn't come out with it because wasn't she married at the time?
Yes.
So, I mean, is that something you come out and say, oh, well, I know I'm married, but it's not your baby. So, you know, this the pool guy, baby.
Listen, Freddie, thank you for calling in. Thank you, Sky, for calling in. Did you guys have any final words? Because this is a mess.
I think
they could make a spinoff. So.
A spinoff, make it a spinoff.
Yes.
A spinoff. Who's Khloe's real dad? I mean, come on.
You are not the father.
And put it on TLC.
They have so many rubbish spin-offs that haven't been successful. But if Kris actually executive produced this, she might actually find that for once she'll have a really successful spin-off that probably beats Keeping Up with the Kardashians ratings, because we all know they're going down at the moment. And it was a big factor for why it wasn't renewed, despite them saying, oh yeah, we don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy. Thank you guys for calling in. I appreciate the calls.
Cool.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye. This is a lot to deal with. Hi, Simone. Oops. Did I hang up on Simone? Hi, Simone. Hi, Stella.
Oh, hi.
How are you guys?
Hey, hi.
Simone, you sound off first.
Good.
Do you think that, would you look at Kim differently if she divorced Kanye because he has a mental illness?
I honestly would not blame her, because we started seeing the cracks in their marriage on the show, and she was basically saying for the sake of the kids. What made me think that there was trouble was because after they had the third baby, she talked about how controlling he was and how they were arguing all the time. And then she jumped to baby number 4. And so basically I wasn't surprised. And then what happened this past summer, I knew that she was going to eventually leave him, but it wasn't going to be quickly. She was going to draft up a plan with her mom and was going to divorce him after the holidays for the sake of the kids.
Yeah. What about you, Stella? Would you look at her bad if she left him because he has mental illness?
To be honest with you, I mean, I suffer. Am I getting a delay?
No, I can hear you.
We can hear you.
You can? Okay. Do I hear Simone?
Yeah, I can hear you.
That might be a delay. As somebody who's suffered from bipolar, I've lost relationships because of it until I was re-diagnosed. It depends. I mean, it depends on if he's maintaining himself, if he's comporting himself. Okay, yeah, there it all is. Oh my God, I love it. The thing is that he's airing dirty laundry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's a problem.
Yeah.
And he's not staying medicated. And that's one of the rules, if you want to keep your life together. And the other thing is, he's known to have a fifth child.
Say it again. I'm sorry. Repeat that.
It has been purported that he has a fifth child.
I heard this. I thought it was only between. You've heard that too? Do you think it's
absolutely
true? I've heard that
I
he
think it
actually
is,
cheated on
100%.
her.
I don't know. I don't know the deets.
Yeah. Do you find that hard to believe, Simone? Do you think Kanye would cheat on Kim?
No, I don't find that hard to believe, honestly, because he's come out saying how controlling the family is with him, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was cheating, let alone having another kid.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Would you look at Kris Jenner any different if she just came out and said, I don't know who Khloe's dad is?
Not really. I mean, we've known that Robert Kardashian is not Khloe's dad. We've known this for years.
Yeah. Would you look at her different, Stella, if she said, I just don't know who the dad is?
It's none of our business. I mean, that's where I lay my head at the end of the day. It's none of our business. And the fact is that Rob raised her, and that's it. And if she's got a problem.
Oh, she faded out. She's right about that.
Kris has been a liar for a long time.
Oh my God.
And she's profiteered off of it. And her.
Oh wow, that's true. This is.
And so if she,
Stella,
she's played dirty.
I wish I could hear you.
Her family.
I just have. I'm going to have to drop you. I can't hear you. Maybe call back in because it sounds like you're saying really good things. But we hear every other word. That's
gotcha.
okay. Try to call back in. Okay.
Gotcha. Got a Bluetooth in. Thank you for your time, Sharrell. Appreciate you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
She has a point. Kris has had a reputation of being a liar for a very long time. And she's also said that she carries guilt about Khloe for a very long time. I feel like, yes, I agree with Stella. It's none of our business, but Khloe deserves to know, especially if it's bothering her the way that they're saying that it is. I mean, Kris needs to come clean and say, these weren't the only two men that I've been linked to having affairs with. Maybe there's more, and here are all the men. I just feel that Khloe needs to know. Now,
can I say this though? Is it possible that Khloe do know?
No,
I'm just going to toss it out there. I don't know. So we're just assuming she don't know at all.
Yeah, I just have a feeling she doesn't know. What about you, Simone?
I remember back when Kris brought up the subject. I think it was like the early seasons of the show. She wanted to get a test done for all the kids to see if they shared the same father and mother, and Khloe refused. And Kris was really the one pushing it, and Khloe just didn't want to touch it at all because she believed that Robert is her father. That's the man that raised her, and she just didn't want to dig into it.
Maybe that's another reason, Perry. Like, that's my dad. That's the man that raised me. I don't need to know if I'm not, because I'm not going to look at Robert any different. It's crazy. Yeah. And maybe I seen that episode that you're talking about, Simone. Maybe Kris wanted to clear her own conscience.
Probably.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you for calling in, Simone. This is crazy. I'm going to keep my eye on this story. It's I feel bad for Khloe.
Yep.
I really, really do. And Kris, whoo, and sneaking men into the house while Robert is sleeping. Who does that? Who does that? It's crazy.
I'm ass.
Thank you for calling in, Simone. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
the call. Okay, bye-bye. That's so funny. Let's take a couple of comments out the chat. Oh, I'm not taking any more calls, guys. Can you put your comments in the comment section? And then let's head out because I only wanted to be on here a half hour. Have you seen the cousins from the dad side? They look like Khloe. Same face, shape, and body. I mean, if you don't take a test, we're not going to know. And so if Khloe doesn't want to take the test, I feel like she doesn't have to. What do you think, Perry?
Well, now I just say this, though. Whether they take a test or not, I mean, well, maybe the test is probably needed. If the problem is so many rumors out there that she's in her mind thinking, what if I'm not their real sister, or if that's not my father? Mm-hmm. If she's doubting that, then she's going to always have that doubt unless she gets some clarity on it. But maybe she don't want to take the test and find out. Maybe she went through, like when you go through embarrassment or go through turmoil all your life, you want to sometimes forget about it. Mm-hmm. Maybe you don't want to bring it back up to have to really face it, because at least part of her can believe maybe that is my real father. But to get that answer that is not, it could be sometimes devastating to a person, maybe.
Well, do you believe it has something to do with her searching for men, love out from men, not knowing who her real dad is?
That could be part of it, but I could think when they was talking about this book, is just how she felt like she was treated compared to the other sisters. So it's not even all about the father. It's like maybe she felt like Kim and all them got more love than she did. So, and she felt like she had to justify these things. Kim is doing this, so-and-so is doing this. Oh, let me go out and find me somebody famous so I can have some respect too. So it could be that way.
I will say this, for me, I think Khloe is my favorite Kardashian, if I had to pick one. A couple more and then we're out. She's talking to, have you ever seen her without makeup? That is so funny. Let's go take another. Perry, your wife is beautiful. Oh, thank you. Thank you, GSP. I appreciate that.
GSP is just too kind to you.
Kris was probably pregnant when she went back to Robert. I mean, it could have been. He accepted her as his, right? Oh, that's another thing that's going to be in the book, Hope, is that Robert also had questions. Questioned to himself if Khloe was his real daughter. Why does Khloe match her? Why does Khloe match her in DNA to Rob's to determine if Robert is her father? I think she doesn't want to know. I really do. And that's her right.
Right.
Yeah. Kylie's my favorite, non-dramatic and sweet. I like Kylie. Has Kylie been in any scandals? Let me think about. Well, they said she's not as rich as she puts on, but that's really not a scandal. They all do that. I don't think she has. Oh, well, the one scandal was that her friend was dating. What's the guy's name? Travis Scott. Before she did, but that's not. She hasn't been any scandals. Like I said, in the last couple of years, the only scandals kind of mostly came from Kanye, and I feel bad about talking about Kanye because he can't control it. I feel bad.
Yeah,
no, it is what it is.
And I wouldn't look at her no different personally. Like if they divorce, I wouldn't look at him no different if they divorce. I'm saying sometimes marriages just don't work out. I think they tried, and regardless of the reason, because not gonna go well, it's mental or this happened. Sometimes marriages don't work out. If they don't work out, and you both are at that conclusion, but I'm thinking they're doing pretty good if they separate and work it out slowly instead of an ambush like, oh, I'm divorcing you all over the tabloids tomorrow, and you had no clue.
I agree with you. I think that if Kim divorced Kanye, no one's going to look at you bad. We have seen what you went through over the last couple of years. And, but I will say this, if Kanye wants his marriage to work, he has to stay on his meds. He has to do whatever the requirements are for him to get better, or at least not even get better. I don't know enough about it. I should bring someone on to talk about mental illness because I don't know enough about it to say, because have you heard, Perry, do you think is it something you're going to live with for the rest of your life? I don't even know that part.
I'm not sure. I mean, and that part I don't like to get too deep into, what's going to make him better. But like the bottom line is, And we can say, yeah, Kim did whatever she had to do for a couple of years, but I give him respect too. He could have did whatever he had to do, because we can say Kim is dealing with this with Kanye. But it's another side. You can say Kanye had to deal with this with Kim.
What did he have to deal with?
Kim being a part of the Kardashian family, he had to deal with a lot of other stuff too, in my opinion.
Yeah, I see what Kris.
Exactly. Him and Kim might want to do this, but now they get to get permission from the president, Kris. You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, we don't know. We're not behind the scenes to know.
What's your opinion on Kris? I know I just want to know before I go. What's your opinion on Kris? Is she a good mother, bad mother? She's got a bad reputation, but those children wouldn't be where they are if it wasn't for Kris.
Well, yeah, I mean, that part I get, and that part I can't really say. If they love her and they still around her, she had to do a good enough job. And nobody's perfect. Nobody's the perfect mother or father.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to say that.
All right, guys. The name of the book that's supposed to tell it all, and that the Kardashians are worried about, is called Dirty Sexy Money: The Unauthorized Biography of Kris Jenner. And I hate to do it to you, Kris, but I gotta read the book. I gotta read the book. I just do. Find out what's going on. Okay, I wanted to thank all you guys for the super chats. You don't have to support the channel, and you do, so thank you very much. I wanted to thank my moderators for jumping in at the last minute. I really appreciate that. You guys are the best mod squad around. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section. This is really a tricky situation. Let me know what you think about, do you think the public would turn on her if she divorced Kanye, specifically because of his bipolar disease? And also, would you guys look at Kris Jenner any different if she just came out and said, I don't know who the dad is? These are some serious issues that they're dealing with, and they're dealing with them in the public eye. Can't be easy. It just can't. Nope. Thank you guys in the chat. I appreciate it. Me and Perry will be back in a couple hours with a Potomac story. Thank you guys. Let's say bye on 3, Perry. 1, 2, 3. Bye, guys. Bye.